Stogie Santa.
Good evening.
Of course, Tim Muggerini's here with us, sitting across from me. Welcome, Tim.
Hola.
And Ben is in the studio.
How's it going?
Hanging out, smoking. That's what we do here. We hang out, we smoke, we drink, and we call this like a show, which is kind of interesting.
It's work.
How we do that.
My wife thinks it's work.
Yeah.
What is the
Well,
name
I'm
of
glad you brought your wife to believing that it's work.
Yes.
She's probably just humoring you because my wife is like, no.
Pretty much. It's all good.
It's all good.
I'm enjoying myself. So
That's right. That's right. So, let's see. What are we smoking tonight, Tim?
We are smoking the Grotto Reserva Grand Corona. Fantastic smoke. It is
Tim,
made...
just slide your microphone down a little bit so
Sure
you're
thing.
talking through it. There you go.
Get closer to the mic.
Awesome.
Good job, Dad.
We won't go there with a joke. Made in Honduras. We have Criollo 98 wrapper. Also same on the binder. On Honduran in Nicaragua Lajero filler. 5 5/8 by 46 Grand Corona, as I said. MSRP, correct me if I'm wrong, Stogie Santa $8.50.
$7.75.
$7.75, even better. Excellent. We just lit up. How's it go? How's it smoking, Paul?
Well, so I cut mine. Stogie Santa cut mine with this shuriken.
Yes.
Is that what you call it? The shuriken.
Excuse me.
And I thought it was when I first saw them online. It's these new. Maybe we can hold it up for the camera. It's these new style cutters that just came out.
Oh, they've been out for a while.
And I really thought it was an adult toy at first, but no, it is a cigar cutter. And there are actually, I don't know if you can see it in there. It's hard to see on camera, but there are some blades inside there. And what do? You just push the cigar in?
Right. You push it in, and it's 5 different blades, and makes a little slit on each side of the cigar. It's been out
I don't
a
know if you
while.
can see that on the camera. It's kind of tough to see on camera, but there are like 5 slits. And that's where the smoke comes through. I find I have to kind of bite down a little on it to open them up to get some smoke, which is interesting. I find you told me there was like a metallic taste you get sometimes.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I just happened to catch
I don't
that
know.
a couple of times.
I'm almost thinking that could be the way the smoke comes through.
Whatever.
Like
I
the
don't
way
know.
the smoke hits my mouth, it's a different flavor. I don't know if it's necessarily good or bad or indifferent, but I don't think it's good.
Do you want the scissors?
Well, I don't know if you can recover from a cut like that, right?
You can. Yeah, you can take the cap off.
You can take the cap off?
Absolutely.
All right, pass me those scissors.
So much for that. Goodbye.
It's certainly
another potential sponsor loss.
Yeah. But the flavors on the cigar are great. Very deep and earthy, I would say.
Absolutely.
I would say earth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I get a nice spice
Yes.
on it, and one of the things I love about the smoke is the creaminess of it. I just absolutely love the creaminess of the smoke. So
We have some other listeners out there. They compare it to a
Do you get
VSG.
creaminess? Do you get creaminess off of this?
No, I
Stogie
don't.
Santa? Okay.
No.
Because I don't either. I think Tim's.
I'm unique in that sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you
a
are very
creamy kind of
unique.
guy. No, that's my favorite one of the line, the Reserva, the Corona Gorda. It's just
It's a reserver. It's the
Reserve, I should
It's
say.
a reserver.
I love that, huh?
yeah.
New England accent.
New England accent going on over here. Eh?
I agree with you, Stogie Santa, though. The Grand Corona is the way to go.
Oh,
I've smoked 3 out of the 4 sizes. There's one I have not had, but you're having some issues over there, Paul, with that.
Yeah, it's coming all apart on me.
no problem. But like I said, that's a wonderful. I very Cubanesque.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
I find it, if I had to compare it to something, and that could be because I know they're made in a very similar region from the same company, is the Alec Bradley Prensado.
Interesting.
I get not the same. Prensado seems to be a deeper, I think, stronger flavor than this, but I find some of the similar flavors.
Now, this is made
the
in...
Prensado was one of the cigars of the year, right?
No,
was it
number
number
one.
one? Was it number one? The Churchill
right.
or it's a
Churchill.
Churchill was number one. So
It's a solid smoke.
They all come out of the same factory.
Now, is this the Races Cubanas factory in Honduras?
Correct. Yep. With
Okay.
Illusion, Viaje.
Yep. I did not realize that Prensado was made there, too. So.
excuse me. So let's. Yes, I don't. Do we want to talk? Well, Paul Joyle is going to come on and tell us all about the Grotto series.
so it's
we'll save all the little nuances of the brand and the the bands and all that stuff for.
And the new line coming out soon to be announced.
And the new line coming out soon to be announced, which we have not smoked yet, but we have in our possession.
Yes, we do.
So very nice. We've got 8 million cigars to talk about in our.
Yeah, Paul, you've been
This week in smoke.
How many states and Marriotts did you stay in the month of March?
So there was 3. I actually stayed in 3 different trips, 3 different Marriotts. I'm like a Marriott Gold member now for the month of March.
How many days?
So it had to be at least 20. I would say 20, maybe more. 20 days in the Marriott in 3 different cities: San Francisco, Columbia, Maryland, and Orlando, Florida.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
And
So
we've got a segment coming up, but
For
so
those few that were giving me a hard time about not getting the podcast out, we
it's
apologize.
all my fault.
We apologize, but
Oh, I like the picture of the Grotto Reserva you got up there. That's
like
nice.
that?
Beautiful, beautiful wrapper.
yeah, I turned the shutter mode up there and caught the smoke. It's good smoke. So
Nice
good
job.
picture.
Nice job.
But we have lots of smokes to talk about.
We've got lots of
I
smokes
want
to
to say
talk
close
about.
to 30 between the two of us.
Yeah.
And I cut my list down, so
And I didn't take pictures of everything I smoked.
well, it's excusable. So.
Yeah, there was a. I don't know. I don't remember what it was because I didn't take a picture of it. One of those new. Oh, KNF Lancero.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we talked. Did we smoke that on the show? I think we smoked that on
Yeah,
the show.
it was-
man.
Yeah, so I didn't bother taking a picture of
Great
it.
smoke.
Yeah. So I've got what did I say? 20-something cigars
Yep.
that I'll go through on a list. Now some of these we've talked about, some of these we have not. So I'll start off, and it's actually in reverse chronological order, which is kind of
Okay.
interesting. So most recently, this afternoon, in fact, in the lounge where we visited at Ocean State Cigars, in fact,
Yep.
Mr. J. Savannah Smoke Shop.
I was very jealous of the smoke while you smoked it.
Yes, I smoked a 3-year-old Monte Cristo No. 2, which was outstanding, great balance of flavors, wood earth with a little bit of subtle spice. I like the.
Yeah.
It's got like a little kick to it. I find it stronger or like more full-bodied. I don't know than like the Edmundo, which I've been smoking a lot of lately too.
It just has a nice the profile on that spice is anyone can deal with that. It doesn't go over the top.
It's yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. I hadn't smoked one in a while, so I think that was my last one from the batch of once I got 3 years ago. It's about a half a box.
And Paul reminded me of this the whole hour and a half that he smoked it. It was his last one. It was fantastic. So
Yes, like it's my last one.
blowing the smoke in my face. As he,
Oh yeah, we have a little present for tonight.
oh, look at that. Stogie Sanders pulling out all the stops. You know, we didn't talk about what we were drinking tonight, actually.
Oh, that would be a wonderful thing to talk
Well, let's do
about.
that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And this is everyone keeps talking about this in the shop, and I'm kind of I've never had a bottle,
Neither have I.
and everyone keeps talking about it. So I'm glad to be drinking it because it's really really good. Now I know everyone's talking about it. So Stogie Sanders, what are we drinking?
We're drinking the 12-year-old Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve bourbon. Just an
No,
absolute.
what's the deal with this Pappy Van Winkle stuff?
Well, to be honest, Paul's brother Dennis is the one who really introduced at Gerald's Liquors. Who really introduced the Pappy line a good probably 5 to 7 years ago, give or take a year. Paul can tell you more about that. It's a very limited release now because of that. Before, about 2 years ago, we had cases in the store. Not many people know about it. Now, it travels all over everywhere, all over the country. People looking for this particular bourbon because you can tell there's so many different nuances and layers of complexity on this particular bourbon.
yeah.
You have a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, 20-year-old, and a 23-year-old, and the price is well worth it. Well worth this bourbon. My favorite bourbon by far.
We were offered up the 23-year-old recently for a hefty price, probably a fair price, but
What was it, $700 a bottle or something?
No.
no, it was in the 200
Yeah,
range.
that-
And I think I ran out of the shop because I knew I was going to drop it if I
Yeah.
didn't. So this is a fantastic bourbon. It's just the finish on it is incredible. You brought up vanilla earlier, Stogie
Yeah.
Sanders.
Front pot.
coconut.
Oh,
It's
Caramel.
incredible. Yeah.
it just, you get the front part, you get the back part of the palate. It makes your cigar taste. Yeah, not that the Grotto needs it, but it really is a wonderful pairing.
Yeah, it is. All right, back to the list, Paul. You want me to go forward?
I was going to say something, but I forgot now.
You're really enjoying that bourbon.
That's what the bourbon does. It attacks the brain cells instantly.
Oh, it reminds me of the Parkers.
Somewhat.
But it's got a lot more flavors than the
Parkers.
Parkers.
It's so much
The
complexity.
Parkers is a little more a lot more one-dimensional.
But still
I would
a
say.
wonderful bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, and it's really good as well. But this one has a lot more different and complex flavors.
I would say,
but it's still got that very pungent bourbon.
Oh, that
flavor.
syrupy taste.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I'm saying, providing where you live and what demographic where you ever are, it can range from anywhere from $55 to $65 a bottle. That's the best money you'll ever spend.
It's worth every penny.
Oh,
I would say it has depth.
yeah,
That's the word I would use, depth. But
absolutely. Like I say, it's
It's definitely money better spent than you spend on that shuriken. I can tell you that much.
it was
You just had
it was
twist.
gifted to me, so I didn't have to worry about it.
yeah, twist that blade. Don't you?
Yeah.
It looks like that's the last glass of that Paul's going to have tonight, you think?
Yeah. Come on, man. It looks like a wild animal attacked my cigar.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a record on the show.
How so?
Well, Paul hasn't ashed himself yet.
No.
And I'm wearing all white. We're
Yeah,
sporting
no,
the
we're
new
all
Stogie.
working, yeah.
We're sporting
All
the
right.
new Stogie Geeks branded shirts with the
Yes,
Stogie
we are.
Geeks logo on the front, and actually says Geeks Kicking Ash on the back, which you
Yep.
can't see because we're facing the cameras. But
You know what? I got to say, the shirts
Pretty soon.
kick ash, but what possessed you to get them in white?
Because
I wanted to see who could put a hole in them first.
don't forget, that's the bottom line.
That's
Whoever
right.
puts the
Because
hole
whoever
in
puts a hole in it first
buys
has
the next ones.
buys the next ones
Okay.
and has to give everyone like a fabulous cigar.
Oh, you didn't know that. See, you were at home and you were breaking up on Skype a little bit. That's what we discussed.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoever puts the hole in it comes up with the best cigar for the rest of the idiots on the show.
That wasn't Skype. That was the whiskey. I just forgot.
Oh, okay.
Now that you mentioned it again, I completely remember now.
All right, let's get back to this list.
All
gentlemen.
right, let's get back.
Go
to the
ahead, Tim.
list. All right, Viaje, man. Spring releases. They've been pumping.
Is that
it
like the
out.
new Jamaican blend, Viaje Mon?
Yeah, man.
So,
It's Viaje Mon.
Viaje. I got to say, last year hit or miss with the brand. This year, he is really knocking them out of the park. Andre is doing a great job. First on my list is the Friends and Family. Beautiful cigar, incredible looking wrapper, rich, earthy flavor profile, extremely balanced. I got some espressos.
Wait, which one is this again?
Family and friends.
Family
The
and
family
Friends.
and okay,
Right,
so I have
very
not.
limited.
I have one, and I have not smoked it yet.
I
it's
smoked
great.
one.
It's
And
wonderful.
I was lucky to get it. From what I understand, Stogie Santa, a lot of retailers got one box.
It was one box. There's just 15 cigars.
Yeah, if they got any at all.
Right. And thanks to Paul, we ended up getting that box,
Yeah.
the box of them.
And I'm going to give a shout out to Al, who
Oh, Big
smoked-
Al.
I met Big Al today for the
Yes,
first
you
time.
did.
And Big Al, excuse me, I forgot my gift for you. I will not forget next time. Anyway, excuse me.
He's the one that gifted me this. Stogie Santa sold him this, and he gifted it to me. So thank you.
I gave Al a very special cigar
Yes, you did.
from my collection because he's always so generous. So.
He is. He is. He's a great guy. Anyways, flavors: espresso, dark chocolate, leather, pepper. A lot of depth on the smoke. I wish I could have tried more than one. Great smoke. I did have some burn issues, but considering it came right off the truck, I can't hold it against the smoke. Again, I consider myself lucky to even have one. And if you come across them, I recommend dropping the money. It is a little bit more on the price.
You're not going to get there.
Well, how much
not
are they?
going to happen.
How much are they a piece?
$15,
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
give or take. Again,
It's a Toro size though, so I mean it's
It's a good size.
it's
Yeah.
a good size smoke.
Oh, yeah.
I would say medium strength with maybe a
full
little
flavor though.
full flavor.
Nice.
I took it down to lunch without a problem, other than the fact it took me an hour and a half to take it down.
Right.
Needless to say,
For those at Tim's employer, you didn't hear that.
you didn't hear that. I was late for that con call. I apologize,
Nice.
but it was worth it. So
Next up on my list was a Liga Privada Dirty Rat. And speaking of price, and I kind of want to, it's one of the things I want to talk about on the show is how price weighs into the equation. Now, these have always been the same retail price, Stogie Santa?
They've gone up $1 here, give or take.
They're- So they're like 12, 13,
$13.99.
$13.99, okay, per cigar. It was an excellent smoke. I love the flavors that came off the stick. It was very smooth, very balanced cigar. I don't think it's. I put 11 in here, but you know they're between 11 and 13 or 14.
Getting them
depending
at
on where you
11
get
is going to be really difficult. but-
I picked him up on 11, but that was because of a fellow brother on the forums.
Yeah, he was
So
telling
I picked up a box of 12 for $130 shipped.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Um,
Even at that though, it's not a petite Corona.
No,
It's a Corona.
It's a
It's a
Corona.
Corona. It's a
Right,
Corona size. Yeah.
Right.
For some reason, I thought I hadn't had one in a while, and I thought they were a petite Corona. But it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it's a great smoke. It's definitely pricey. I think it's worth it, though.
See, there's where I disagree. I don't think it's worth it.
I
Well,
know.
that's a lot. It's a great point. Even Steve Sacco, who Paul and I were talking to down in, I think, New Orleans, was saying the same thing. He just thought it was an expensive cigar, but again, because of the
It's the
cigar
demand.
itself, it is a demand.
Yeah.
Everything they have.
Supply and demand.
Same thing with the feral pig.
Yep.
Now, I like the L40 the best.
You really like that.
I'm
smoke.
not a
did.
big fan. I'm not. I'll rephrase that. It's not one of the better sticks. I'm not saying.
I only smoked one though. I think I only smoked
I
one.
want to say it was episode 5. We smoked it on the show.
And I think Big Al is the one that hooked us up with those.
Yes, he did. He
And
bought
so
a
why? Yeah, we
5-pack.
and we only got one, obviously, because it was a gift. But anyway,
I think it has great flavors. It does lack a little depth as far as other Liga providers, but they freely admit that. I mean, that's why they went, a ring size up, is to try to get some more complexity in there.
Man, that's got 7 different blends of tobacco in the Corona. You know how hard that is
you had to
roll?
put that in a Corona.
That's
That-
That's
that-
why it's probably when they're so expensive.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
The
were talking about the
L40.
rat. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
My
the
bad. I thought
L40,
you were talking about the rat. My
Oh, you're
bad.
talking about
right.
the number 9, yeah. So I'll do another on my list here. The My Father Federal Cigars 91st special edition released 4 Federal Cigars. This was the broadleaf version, and it had some good toasty flavors up front. And I had some high expectations, and then it really kind of just did nothing for me the rest
I
of the
agree
way.
with that
I
one.
was. I felt bad because someone gave it to us and they wanted us to review it, and I just did not. I really just didn't enjoy the whole experience. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just didn't. It was
Didn't wow you.
It didn't wow me. I was underwhelmed, unfortunately. I
Now-
mean, it could have just been my palate. It could have been this one.
Yeah.
I did only smoke one in the broadleaf. Now I think Stogie Sand and you guys both smoked this cigar as well. So
Yeah.
what were your impressions?
Well, first let me say it's tough to give impressions on one smoke.
Right. I agree. That's a great point.
It also, I agree with you though. It did not wow me. That said, I reviewed and smoked the Connecticut version of
Okay,
the
well,
smoke.
let's not get ahead of it because I have that on my list too.
Oh, we all. That's what I'm saying. I was going to throw that out there, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
You
We'll,
have, you have twice as many smokes on my as on my list.
we'll
so-
talk about the Connecticut as well.
Okay, fair enough. So
Now, Stogie Santa, broadleaf, My Father Federal Cigars 91st.
Yes.
What'd you think?
Okay. I good smoke. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
it's
I'm-
still a good smoke. Yeah.
It's definitely a 5-er, no doubt about it.
I think expectations, just to kind of round on this one, expectations were higher because it was a special release cigar
Right.
for a store. So to me, my expectations are a little higher.
Right. Sometimes I'm not over it, but I don't buy into any hype. It's not nothing against Federal. It could be Paul's store, anyone's store. I look at a cigar for what it is. I try not to get caught up in the hype because sometimes you can almost bypass a cigar because of the hype. I'm not saying that you can, but let it be for what it is. And like I said, the Federal, some of the blogs were just knocking it out of the ballpark, and I'm not doubting that. But in my personal profile, I thought it was a good 5-er.
Yeah, I would say maybe even a little less than a 5-er. I think it's good to try. The presentation was nice.
I would try it. It's still available on the web.
Yeah.
I want to say there's 250 boxes of 23 made.
Now, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of some of most of the My Father stuff either. It just not because it's bad. Just my palate.
They're supposed to re-release this again.
Are they? Okay.
Okay,
Fair
Tim,
enough.
you're up.
Okay, moving on. Room 101, one shot, one kill. Interesting flavor profile. Earth, leather, wood, occasional floral note. I made a mistake with the smoke. I smoked it at lunch. It's a full flavored smoke. Bad move on my part. I would, if I was going to smoke it again, I would take it down probably at night with a glass of bourbon or whiskey. The flavor profile for me did not fit what I personally like, but I can see why people like it. Construction-wise, fantastic.
Yep.
Had no issues. I think I'm going to revisit before I give it a formal rating. It's only fair to do so. It was given to me as a gift. I had one. I know, Stogie Santa, you have some opinions on the smoke.
I just, again, first of all, I want to put out there, I think is the best one that Matt has put out so far, by far. Okay. That's my opinion. Like I said,
Matt Booth.
Matt Booth, I'm sorry. And Camacho is the one who makes the cigars for this for Matt. And it's a nice cigar. I got a little lost. I guess that particular cigar didn't really do a lot for me. I find, like I said, I pick up that floral. I thought was a little too much for me. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
You know, I got lost, and again, there was I forgot the name of the little. I don't know if I call it Robusto, and I just sleep. There's the smaller one that they had. I thought was the best, and then the other one that was a 6.
The one I smoked is the Filero, and I believe that's the smallest of the bunch.
Right, and that was the better one of the bunch. But again, I'm probably on the minority on this one. I'm not. It was okay. It was good as far as I go.
I'm glad to hear that it's not just me. I thought it was. Just
no,
me.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, but they at the store. They did very, very well, and they're in demand.
Again, it's I think a very unique flavor profile.
And I just couldn't picture that with a bourbon. I just don't think it would go good because of the floral notes. I just think it would be a clash, depending what you're drinking. I mean, I couldn't picture what we're drinking tonight. I think you get lost.
Would you smoke it at lunch?
I would smoke it probably in the morning with a cup of coffee.
Really? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel. You know.
Okay. Fair enough.
I was gifted a very special cigar, one of my favorites actually, from the La Aurora factory, and that's the Cien Años.
Oh.
Now, it's not the Anos.
I know.
It's not Anos.
Not 100 anals.
Años.
Años.
Años. That's very different
Wasn't
pronunciation.
that wonderful?
And this was the Preferido size, which I had never had before.
That's awesome.
I've had the Robusto. I've had the Churchill. I've had the Torpedo, the Bellicoso rather. But I didn't even know it was made in a Preferido size. I know there's a Corona size, which I haven't tried either. But this was the Preferido, and it was just awesome. I mean, the change up in flavors with that little Perfecto size is it just does wonders. I mean, this blend is already very special in my opinion. I mean, I've bought lots of them to attest to that. But this particular size really makes that blend shine, I thought. Stogie Santa, you smoked one of these too?
I spot on.
No,
Spot on.
I can't really pinpoint the flavors. I know I like them, but my palate, I can't identify and tell everyone what those flavors are. They're enjoyable. It's
I got a lot of leather out of that. Like when I say leather, I think it's the smoothness in it. Excuse me. I got a little nuttiness out of that, very slight nuttiness. Yeah. It's a transition that you just can't. You don't want to smoke like we're in here with 4 smokers. I think you get lost on that cigar.
Yeah,
you really would. That's nice on the deck and whatever. And believe it or not, this is going to sound totally out of sync for me. I almost got like a toffee taste out. You know what I mean? A little. It was a strange sweetness.
Yeah, almost a burnt toffee. It's
there is a hint of sweetness.
Yeah,
it
especially
goes in,
especially come out and went in and then dissipate. It was just so unique. It was just.
I mean, I haven't had the Perfecto, but I've smoked the Robusto.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was just really subtle, very. You know, it was
in the blend, I mean,
smoke.
it's holding up. I mean, they're not making this cigar anymore,
No.
but the way they're aging, I think, is phenomenal. They're smoking just better and better all the time. They don't seem to be on the downward spiral in any sense of the imagination.
Not at all.
So the first thing that comes to mind is where the heck did you get that one? Because
that was a gift from Mark.
Yes, yes,
okay.
we. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
He's on the road tonight.
Yeah, Mark couldn't be here, unfortunately.
Yep.
So. I'll do 2 at a time, Tim. How's that sound?
Yeah, I know I don't have nearly as much as you. So.
No, that's okay.
I got to throw a couple in after you're done too.
Yeah, sure. So I've got the Tatuaje Kahonu.
What was that again?
Tatuaje
Okay.
Kahonu 2012, the broadleaf version. I love this smoke. I thought it had those awesome classic Tatuaje flavors. I'm not sure exactly what those are again, but I know when I pick it up and I smoke it, I'm like, wow, that's that classic Tatuaje flavor. And I think this one's going to age extremely well. It was a tad bit unbalanced, in my opinion. Not that it was a bad thing. It was still a great smoke. But I could tell that age is going to be extremely kind to this cigar.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I smoked one this week, too, and I absolutely agree. Great smoke. Typical Pete Johnson. Notice I didn't say Tatuare. Flavors. But I agree.
Attaboy, Timmy.
I think a few months, even 6 months ago to do.
Yeah, I
this
think it's
is
something
so-
you revisit every once in a
Oh, yeah.
while as you go
Oh, give
through,
it-
and it's going to
give
be
it-
it's going to be more and more balanced.
Now,
as
did
time
anyone
goes
do
on.
the Sumatra?
Yes,
I did. I have that on my list
Yeah,
too.
because what happens, I think a lot of people, I wouldn't say disappointed, probably let down just a little bit. Don't try to compare it to the Kappa at all, because that's a Corona, totally different smoke. It's a smaller ring, and try to compare those two, I think, would be a mistake. And I think that's the cigar that's going to be a little bit sleeper, too. I think age is going to do even better to that than the broadleaf, my opinion.
You know what? You said that same thing about the capper last summer, and you are absolutely right, Stogie Santa. Because when I first smoked that Corona, I was like, all right, it's okay. By December,
Oh,
I
isn't
was
it?
hooked.
I told you.
And
That
I
is
gotta tell you right
wonderful.
now, I am stocking them in my humidor.
And I just don't, a lot of people are so hooked on this broadleaf, and rightfully so. If you took the band off and you took the first third of that broadleaf, my opinion, my humble opinion, you almost think it's a Padron. You got that little cocoa, boom, right in the
there
front.
is a little hint of
Yeah, a hint, right.
Yeah.
And then it changed totally. I mean, very slightly. I'm not saying like a Padron. I'm not trying to do anything like that, but that's what I would compare that to. But again, it's a great smoke. It's a must-have. And they put the book out, and they only made 2012 of those, and they're going to be re-released in August. So if you weren't lucky enough to get some now at the trade show, they'll be there, and we'll be back on the counter sometime in late August.
Now, I did smoke the Sumatra as well. So that's the Tatawahe Kohonu Sumatra, which comes in the book.
Right.
And it was a great stick. However, this one had the loosest draw I've ever had on a cigar in my entire life. I mean, it was...
More so than a Liga, the more
yeah,
feral
I've
pig?
heard
Wow.
of people talk about a loose draw, and I like the draw on the Ligas in the feral pigs a lot. But this one was too loose. Like, I didn't even have to really
So you didn't
puff
pick up a
on
lot of
it.
flavors off it then.
Yeah, and I think it affected some of the flavors. Now,
Oh,
I could
there's
tell
no
the
doubt.
flavors were there, but I could tell it was suffering because of the way that it was drawing. It was too loose. And I like a loose draw on a cigar, I like ones that pour smoke. But this one was taking that to an extreme, and I thought it took away from the smoking experience of the cigar.
Now, I also smoked the Sumatra. I did not have any draw.
No,
problems.
not at all.
It actually smoked perfectly. Burn-wise, construction-wise, I mean, draw-wise, it was pouring smoke. But I think it does need some age.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
yeah.
You watch.
It's
I'm
not
telling you.
balanced.
It has not come to what
It's young.
going
It's just
to
a
be.
young. It's not mature yet.
And I
Now-
only smoked one.
Yeah,
So in all fairness,
I did smoke a Kappa Especial as well when I was on vacation, and I thought that was good. Mine, it was kind of the opposite problem. It didn't produce enough smoke for me, but it was still really good. So, over to you, Tim.
okay. Actually, let's see what's next on my list. Sorry, scroll down. Back to Viaje again. The WLP Winter Classic. I actually smoked another one of these today. I almost think this might have been a little bit of a sleeper with the recently Viajes releases. I think the shotgun
I'm
shells.
curious. I want to hear what you say about this.
Yeah. I think the shotgun shells got a lot of attention. I think the friends and family got a lot of attention.
Right.
Skull and Bones, well,
Right.
they're always popular. However, I think this is a decent stick, medium body, medium strength, good construction. I took a couple down at lunch, enjoyed them. Took one down again today in the afternoon. Got a nice balance of mocha, a little bit of pepper, almost a maltiness off of it. I think it's a very unique flavor profile, very different than from some of the other things he's done. A lot of the stuff he does is a lot of power, a lot of flavor, and this is not that.
No, this is a more finesse cigar.
It's a more finesse cigar, Robusto, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Perfect size for lunchtime.
Yeah.
I think it's the perfect strength of body for lunchtime. Not the best cigar I've ever smoked, not the best Viaje I've ever smoked, but I do think it's a good cigar.
Right.
And
You know, it's funny. Again, and I'm not going to put all the credence into two cigars, but it's funny you say constructions. I don't mind touching a cigar up. That doesn't bother me at all. That's just part of a man-made product.
Right.
The two I had, I just battled too much with. You know, I really did. That was my downfall. It was that. Then you start losing when you light it, you realize it went out. It went out on me twice.
You lose flavor too.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah,
and I thought, like I said, I wish I wouldn't have that issues, because I think I would have put that into a much higher category. But because of not so much working with it, but just that I couldn't get the full flavor what I think that cigar could produce.
Yep.
But the maltiness is funny. I picked that right up. Absolutely.
You know, it's funny you say that because the first two I had smoked and drawed perfectly. The one I smoked today, I had to relight it, no lie, 6 times.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly.
It was frustrating me.
Was it?
Because I know what that cigar is capable of from the first two I smoked. And for whatever reason, the one I had today was a problem.
Did someone step on a duck?
What was that?
That's Mrs. Santa saying,
We're being
save some bourbon.
We're being attacked over here. What was I going to say? Oh, so some cigars you do have to touch up. Yeah, I don't know. Some recover better than others, I find.
Agree.
Like, there are some that you can touch up, and it doesn't really affect them. Like the Monty 2, for example. Yeah. Sometimes you got to touch that up, and it really doesn't seem to affect the flavor all that much. But other ones, you touch them up, and it chars it, and it does affect the flavor.
See, this was a complete relight in the course of today.
Yeah, see, that's what Tim is hitting. What I'm telling you, I didn't count, but
that was your phone.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was because there are ducks back there in the pond.
So.
Yeah, you know, at my age, anything sounds good. But it just, like, I would like to see that, you know, touch up one. I mean, it literally, it wasn't canoeing. It just went out. It's just strange.
Very strange.
I want to talk about something I'm smoking now. A friend of mine, Stephen Drew from Antonio, Texas. He's working on a little blend here. And I can't say too much about it right now, what's in it, because there we go. We just saw Paul, wait a minute, we're looking for a hole. Do we have a hole in the shirt?
Is that a bird mark?
Oh, no, that's not, we said hole.
No, wait.
We said a hole. Okay, we're going to get clarification.
I think it's just a booger.
Okay. So get back to the cigar. It's a Triple Hero. The cigar is, for a Triple Hero, it's smoking rather smoothly, but building up in strength, Steve. If you're listening, at this moment, doing fairly well. I'm enjoying the smoke. We'll see what happens. Like I said, this is a prototype. We want to see what we're going to touch up on it. So I just wanted to give a yell out to Steve to let him know what's going down. I hope you're listening. So that's my take on one of my cigars. So thank you.
It's not a burn mark.
No. Okay. I was looking forward to a nice,
you got
nice
very
cigar.
concerned there, didn't you?
I'll tell you what.
It's not a hole. It's definitely not a hole.
It's not a Cicilline stain, is it?
What was the deal? We get to raid your cabinet?
That's right. You get to raid my cabinet if you can find the key.
Don't forget, I have
Paul.
I know what
come
the key
on.
is.
You and I are security guys. We don't need those.
That's what I said. You have to find the key.
I got my lockpick set right in the car.
Yeah.
So
I have my shotgun right in the basement.
And I'll be upstairs while you're fighting.
Ben, what are you smoking, actually? We didn't touch base on this, so.
I am smoking a Chisel. I'm smoking the Coronado. Yep. Very good. I'm not a big fan of chisels, I have to admit. It's just the construction of a chisel that...
I got some right in the back right here.
Yeah.
Chisel.
Not those kind of chisels. It's just... I'm the type that I like to hold a cigar in my mouth and I kind of hold the cigar, but I'd rather have the mouth hold most of the weight. And the chisel, after he's done smoking it, it gets kind of loose at the end. It kind of sags, but the flavors I get off this is very nice. It's one of the better chisels I've had. Very nice. Yep.
I can see that you're chewing that thing up on the end.
Well, I've been holding it. I've been showing Paul. I've been holding it like a fife. I made a punch.
It's kind of like a. It's like a harmonica. He's smoking like a harmonica.
Well, what you should do on that is punch
That's awesome.
the top and the bottom.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. So you punch the top and the bottom.
That would give you a lot less restriction on it.
I also think that your shuriken would not work on a chisel.
No, absolutely not.
It might end up looking like my cigar.
Wait a minute. I'm not shrinking yet.
You're 75. Come on now.
Oh.
Alrighty. Let's see. I smoked a Cane F Daytona. Is that right?
Yes.
Or is it just a Cane?
No. It's a Daytona.
It's a Cane Daytona, not
Right,
an F.
no.
All right,
Totally
so
different.
I have a correction
Totally
in
different.
the notes to make.
I'm glad you're bringing this up. I think
Yeah,
it's a
so
hidden gem.
it's a great smoke. It came in that sampler box from Oliva, from the Studio Tobacco. Produced excellent flavors. Somewhat of a sweetness with hints of wood, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, yep. It really
great.
is.
It's a great Lancero.
I think it complements the F very well. The F, of course, you got that pepper spice.
It's not the
It's
pepper
not-
spice bomb.
No,
it's
but it's a nice.
Yeah.
It's you can go back. You can get the Cane F and smoke that right behind it, and you can pick it up. I like the Daytona. I think is a sleeper. Everyone's going after the K&F. Excuse me, please. I think the Daytona is a wonderful smoke.
And in the Lancero format, I think it really shines. Although I haven't smoked any of the other. Have you smoked any of the regular Daytona stuff?
No.
The other Daytona stuff, I haven't either. So I guess I really can't compare. But
no.
In comparison to other Lanceros, it was very well constructed, burn, draw, all that.
Nice.
Yep, had a lot going for it.
It's picking up big time.
Let's move on to something that I didn't enjoy as much. That was the Jaime Garcia Connecticut.
Wow.
Really? I didn't like there was a lot of pepper up front, and I didn't like it. And I guess when I smoke a Connecticut, it's my first cigar of the
Ecuadorian
day.
shade grown, totally different from a Connecticut.
Okay, so it is different from a regular Connecticut.
Oh, I think. Go ahead. Excuse me.
So it's an Ecuadorian shade grown Connecticut, but that pepper just didn't. I don't know. It didn't agree with my palate, and once I got through that, the other flavors never really. It didn't come together for me. I don't know what it was. It wasn't balanced. It didn't produce those kind of smooth flavors. It just wasn't there for me. I smoked the short Robusto size, or Petite Robusto, I think.
Petite Robusto.
Petite Robusto, they're calling it. And it wasn't my flavor profile.
Wow.
Now,
I thought that was a great smoke. I really enjoyed that
agree.
little. I love that little bit. I thought the pepper was very well done. I don't think it was over the top. I thought it paired well with the spice and dissipated. And then went into a nice, nice little. I got a lot of earth in the middle of that cigar, and at the very back end of it, I got a nice little.
You know
space.
what? You know what, though, Mark? I still don't agree.
That's fine.
No,
That's fine.
No,
I mean that's
I had
the
different
beauty
experience.
about cigars, and not everyone's going to agree.
And I'm not saying it was bad, right? I'm not like trashing the cigar. It didn't fit my flavor profile.
Now, I reviewed this smoke, and I gave it box worthy.
I agree. 100%.
See, I saw your review, and I still don't agree.
I smoked 3 in 24-hour period. 2 of the short Robusto, which I reviewed, Petite Robusto, sorry, and 1 of the bellies. I think it's a great lunchtime smoke. I think it had enough flavor and power for that time of the day, but it wasn't overpowering. I was actually pretty surprised, Paul, because you're an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade fan too. And
I am. Is the Elegancia Ecuadorian?
No, actually, it's it's a Connecticut seed grown in Ecuador.
I gotcha.
Okay.
So a little bit different. You get more of a. I get more of a creamier note off that than I do.
I like the Elegancia better than breakfast smoke.
I think the Elegancia has a little more creaminess
Yep.
and more sweetness too.
And now, do you have the new wave? You do. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Well, go ahead and talk about that next.
All right, fair enough. EP Carrillo, New Wave, short run. I believe this was also the Robusto, the Exquisitos.
Exquisito.
Thank you. Jeez.
Exquisitos.
Yes, Mama Rilsa.
I smoked another one of these today.
Mamacita.
Great
Yeah.
stick. Great stick. I think the binder, which is broadleaf, adds a nice spice
Right,
to it,
that-
as you said.
That's the Maduro line that they put out. Yeah.
Yep. However, I don't think it's over the top. You can smoke it middle of the day.
Oh, morning.
I think you smoke it after breakfast in the morning. And
absolutely.
certainly it holds up at night, too. Great stick. Perfect. Box worthy, hands down.
I agree. I really like the cigar a lot. I get a nice smoothie, kind of creamy, almost caramel,
Smoothie, huh?
like a caramel smoothie is what I'm going to call it. Come on, every once in a while we get a.
Yeah. I still don't agree.
Nice. Well done.
I think of the
It's
caramel.
for me. It's a caramel smoothie.
That's it.
I know, and I really like them a lot.
And then there's another one. We're on the Pepin. Get back to Pepin. My friend Jeremy gifted me the S series. It's an event cigar.
that cigar is awesome.
That is so good. And
Now I say most of my fathers aren't to my palate, which you shouldn't say because there was the limit Jaime Garcia Limited that was really good.
it was funny. You said
some
that,
of the
though.
My Father Limiteds were good, not this year's, but last year's was really good. But that special one they give it events,
Special Let's.
Wow, that's
Now you said the Jaime Limited you liked.
I did. I like the Jaime
Okay,
Limited.
now do you know the binder and filler in the Connecticut? They call it Connecticut, and that the New England release. That is the same binder and filler that's in the Jaime Reserve. The same thing. The only difference is the wrapper.
And we all know how much the wrapper can change the smoke.
Absolutely. I mean, people say 65, 70%, whatever the percentage you want to put on it. But back to that special
but
S.
also-
thank you, Jeremy.
But also between the limited and the one I smoked was a Petite Robusto, and that limited is a pretty big Toro, size,
right? And
so
we'll try. Well, no, you ought to try to do is
size matters. And I'm gonna try the. I have a Toro.
Do the Toro, and
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. You know, as you know, I'm a smaller ring type of smoker, and I'll tell you what, that Toro, to me, give that a run. That is
Okay, fair
really,
enough.
really good.
Fair enough. I will.
How is your J Grotto series Reserva doing?
Fantastic. I'll tell you what, man. This thing is, I don't want to use the word predictable because that sounds negative. It is spot on every single time with the flavor and construction. It really is. I've never had one that's burned bad. I always know what I'm going to expect. You know, I know what I'm going to get when I pick one of these up and light it.
Yeah, I
Right.
do. I do get the same smoking experience each time I have it.
it
And I
is.
got to tell
Absolutely.
you, this is one of my favorite smokes with coffee at lunch. Right here.
Really?
Yep.
Oh yeah, iced coffee with that. Isn't it something?
It's right up there with the Ashton Trey Mystique.
Yeah, no,
Oh, it is. That's been rated anywhere from a 92 to a 94, nothing lower than 92, and not very often do I agree with. Once you get in that dangerous 92, 94 rating, it can be difficult. But
Well,
that
what's the
cigar,
difference,
I
right?
no, what I'm saying is 90s basically. I mean, I know 92, 94. I'd rather go fiver in a box worthy. I think people can really identify with that more so than in numbers. I can anyway.
Yep.
That is definitely a box worthy cigar.
You okay over there, Ben?
I'm good.
All right.
The fight. It's a hard time smoking the fight.
Let's see. Where are we? Let's go Liga Privada number 9. Now, this was one that was a gift from Stogie Santa, and it was covered in plume. You can see the pictures. And if you click on the links in the show notes to all of our cigars, you will see them on our Stogie's page. You'll see pictures of them. This one was absolutely covered in plume. Was it an original release or
Yes,
close
the
to the
first
original
one.
first
Yeah.
release of the Liga Privada number 9? And it started out absolutely amazing. It was. I mean, I was like, I find when you get an aged cigar like that, that's just covered in plume and it's got a ton of age on it. When you first light up that cigar, immediate flavors. You know, some of the cigars we were talking today, Tim, how the Monte Cristo for me that I smoked, the number 2, took a little time to warm up. Even though it had some age on it, I found it took a little time to warm up. This one and a lot of other aged sticks I've smoked, I mean, like the Opus X original release and this one, right off the bat, flavor and awesome flavors. Then it fizzled out.
Right,
That's
it
how I'm
aged
gonna
out.
put it.
It- I agree.
Fizzled out.
Now, when you say fizzled out, what do you mean?
So this one for me, it lost flavor, but then presented some new flavors which were not as enjoyable.
No.
Other sticks that I've had have just fizzled out and haven't presented really any flavors.
Okay.
This one fizzled out and kind of had this almost a sour. I would say sour.
That's not good.
A bitter, sour bitter.
I think it's so much of I just call it more of a muted taste because the first third of the cigar was just amazing.
I got a little kind of strange flavor.
Yeah, again,
I don't know if it was sour or bitter, but it was along those lines.
It was a flat taste. It was, but like I said, the first third of the cigar, and that's what happens. You got to be careful with aging. That's what can happen with aging, and it aged out. That's what happened to it.
Well, you know what it been for me too. Maybe it was because I was as it got a little flat. I was probably puffing on it harder, going maybe if I bring a little more draw to it.
That could have done some of the sourness.
And
right
that
there.
could have presented some of the
Yeah,
sourness.
oh,
Because
absolutely.
that's what I
It was
tend to do
burning
when
too
I
hot.
kind of get bored with them. Like I'll just keep puffing on it, and then it gets hot, and then it gets a little sour. So
what's telling me is I got to go home and smoke all my number 9s.
yes,
Okay.
and I've got a box that's 3 years old, so I've got a bunch left.
You know what they say: smoke them if you got them.
Yeah, so they need to be
True, man.
smoked. Tim, what else you got?
Let's see. Viaje Super Shot 12 gauge. Again, I think I've smoked.
Wait, did you? What is this Olivier's aging room? Did you talk about that one?
Oh, you know what? I mean, we skipped over to the.
I'm curious to hear this one.
Yeah, because I've never heard of this.
Yeah, so Stogie Santa, you gifted me one of these. It was a short Robusto? Or is it
Just a regular Robusto.
Okay. Nice smoke, Dominican Puro, nice balance of cedar spice, some sweetness on the finish. I would say Cubanesque. Great construction and burn, took it down at lunch. I need to revisit, man. I think this is a sleeper. It was a really good stick. I'm going to say 5er at least.
At this moment, I call it a 5er.
But I need
agree.
to smoke more.
I love the finish in
And
that
I'd
cigar.
like to see what this thing does in a few months' time.
Wonderful, wonderful smoke. I
Yeah.
agree.
I had never even heard of it before until you sent it to me. But yeah, check it out if you come across them. I think it's good smoke. So
We have them at the store.
yep.
Very nice. So I'll go on with mine. Opus X Shark from 2009.
I knew we couldn't get through a show without you bringing up Opus.
Absolutely not, because Mark and I have a lot of the kind of rare sized
Yes, you
Opus
do.
X. I bought the 22 box late last year from 2009, which came with a lot of the non-production sizes of the Opus X. And it's interesting because we smoke them together, so we'll smoke the same one. Sometimes from different years, but we will smoke the same ones of those kind of non-production sizes, and I'll say kind of weird sizes. So this is the same shark size as you would find in the Añejo, but this is the Opus X blend. And again, this one started out amazing. It was amazing, Tim, and then it just was kind of meh. I would say meh.
Better than sour.
And he could. It wasn't sour. No, it didn't present any new flavors for me.
Well,
And
no,
I think that's why it was kind of meh.
It was
for me.
interesting to watch Mark
Mark-
and Paul smoke.
yeah.
They're sitting there just mesmerized. Then all of a sudden it was like,
Yeah,
they
it's
start talking.
so-
Let's smoke. Yeah, it was funny to watch. It really was. You could judge what you were doing by the face. It was funny to watch.
Would you use the word flat?
Yeah, it definitely got flat. Yeah, and I've noticed that with some of the Opus X special sizes is that they'll start off amazing like that, and then they'll get a little flat. And now the one that we both know, so we smoked the shark, we smoked the chili pepper, we've smoked the BBMF Maduro.
Yep.
And the was it
Did we
the
smoke something
orchid,
else?
the black orchid.
I don't know. I think that's all we smoked so
The
far.
original release too, right?
Yeah, no, we did in the original release. In the original release, we smoked all together. We each had the same stick, and hands down, the BBMF Maduro was tops of the list.
No, everyone says that out of that box. It is.
It's-
a
I mean,
great
it's
smoke.
just
No, I'm not a
hands
big
down.
Opus X fan, but I gotta say, if I came across that smoke, I'd have no problem
And
trying
you
it.
you might not actually,
probably not,
It's,
but-
And not
unless
many
you want to
people-
drop $800-900 on the box.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you get each one for about $40 a stick. And if you go and buy them individually,
Oh, it's gonna be more.
they sell for $60 or more
Right.
when you buy them individually. So-
Because people start breaking up sets and saying, "Well, we're going to get them," they're not going to give them away. And I don't much blame them.
yeah, it was a kind of splurge thing, you know.
A smoke I want to touch base with is a Padron Aniversario 1926 number 6. It's probably my favorite Robusto.
Yep.
That cigar is spot on. I tell you, a lot of people who smoke the 64 Principe, if you're out there and you like that cigar, try the number 6. Cocoa, earth,
In the 26.
and the 26, the number 6 in the 26 line. That cigar is just, I can't say that, my favorite Robusto non-Cuban.
I tell you
Hands
what,
down.
man, I agree with you. I got a half a dozen of those, so with about a year and a half of age, that I
Oh.
am just sitting on for that special occasion. That is a great.
And
smoke.
the tobacco is already 8 years old to begin with, and,
Yeah,
and it just gets better and better. And that cigar is it's a pricey. It's around $13 for the stick, give or take, wherever you are tax wise. And I'll tell you, pair that up with the Pappies.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, it's a raging one.
It's
It
been
really
my
is.
Christmas smoke for the last 3 years in a row.
Oh,
So.
thank you, Rudy. Oh,
Excellent. Let's see, Tim. What else you got on your list?
Let's see. We started talking about it. Viaje Super Shot 12 gauge. The smaller of the two releases. Again, I think I smoked a half a box of these things in the month of March.
Wow.
I have none left. I know, Stogie Santa, you recommended putting some away and aging them.
oh, I think that.
I can't get enough of them. If I have them, I'm going to smoke them.
No.
This is a great smoke.
Now, compare if you can. I'm just curious because all the palettes are pretty close together. What would you say different from the 12 to the 10? What would you say the one thing? Put your finger right on it. This one thing that you would say.
Power.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
The 10 had much more power.
Yep.
Not that the 12 does not have power. It
Oh
has
no,
power.
no, right.
The 10 made me sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the 10 a lot.
I like both of them. I mean,
The 12 I'm telling you, put that down. Ben from Nice Tight Ash agrees the same thing, and I agree with you with the 12. If you could only put them down and put them to age,
yeah.
it's hard.
Now, what's unique about the smoke too is the wrapper. This thing has the thickest wrapper I've ever noted on a stick.
It does have a very hardy wrapper on it.
Right.
Huh?
It's great for in the New England area or colder climates. If you're sitting outside or in a 45-degree, 50-degree weather, it's not going to crack on you.
Yeah, every single one I had burned and dried perfectly. It's a 3.5 by 52. If you think you're going to take it down in less than an hour, you're mistaken.
Yeah.
If you do, you're going to have a little bit of sweats.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that this is one of my favorite Viaje releases in some time.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree with
100%,
that. More so than the Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the Daisy Cutter.
If you can still find these, because I think
they're gone.
we're all gone.
Yeah,
right?
they're long. They came into.
Big Al and I know somebody in Massachusetts that still
excuse
has
me.
them. So I'll share that with you
Yeah,
afterwards.
if you want
Urban
to
burp.
if you want to split some, definitely.
So
Yeah.
thank you, Big Al.
Yep.
I smoked a Padron 1964 anniversary. I want to say it was an Imperial.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes, that's an Imperial. Yep.
Yeah. A great cocoa-like deep flavors, stronger than I remember. So I smoked this one right before we went to the Magic Kingdom in Disney, and I was a little sick from it. And then my wife made me go on the teacups, which I do not recommend. Just
Teacups
not
and
recommend
cigars
it.
don't go. Huh?
No, they don't. If you're feeling a little queasy from nicotine sickness, going on the teacups ride at Disney is not what you want to be doing.
I don't think going on the teacups ride anywhere is recommended.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I can get spins a different way.
Yeah, after a bottle of bourbon, it's just like Mark's. Teacups. I also smoked a CAO Sopranos. This was the Soldier, which I think is the Toro size, right? The Associates, the Robusto, the Soldier is the Toro size. This one was gifted to me by my good friend Jeff, who he and I traded cigars. Well, he did some favors for me, and I actually... Jeff is, because he did a favor for me, the winner of the Ashton Humidor that that I had
Oh, yeah?
by default, and I filled that with some sticks for Jeff. But Jeff gifted me some of these aged CAO Soprano Soldiers, and it's a great smoke, nice flavors. By far my favorite CAO. The finish on the cigar is great. Great finish.
I love that smoke.
I do
It's a
too.
good smoke, and I think it's a sleeper. And you can pick them up on the cheap.
And they age really well.
Yes, they do.
People think of CAO being a licensed cigar. It's not going to be that good. It's a wonderful smoke.
Yep. You got to get them cheaper than what they list. I don't think they're worth the
No.
the
MSRP
Up
is
near
crazy.
$15.
Don't pay
Oh,
MSRP.
Don't do it.
But you can find them online now for way cheaper than MSRP. So, and I don't know if are they still making them?
I don't want
I
to
don't
say
think
yes
so.
or no. I highly doubt it, but I'm not 100% certain.
So, what else you got, Tim?
The Viaje WLP Candela 2012. Are they calling this the St. Patrick's Day release?
Yeah.
A little disappointed. I really liked the Candela from last year. I had some major wrapper problems with this.
Oh,
release.
everybody cracking like crazy.
I mean, it was thin.
That's the name of the game with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think with a Candela, you're going to get a thin wrapper anyways. Last year, it was very thin. This year, it was very thin. Still good smoke. Once I got beyond the point where the cracking had occurred, I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of those smokes where it's nice to have every once in a while. We talked about Candelas before. It's different. Offers up some unique grassy undertones without, overpowering the cigar. Try it if you come across it, just for something different. Grab one or two.
I had to say I liked a lot of the Candela releases. I don't think I've tried that one.
The Illusion, I find the best one because of the Nicaraguan binder.
I agree.
filler.
The Nicaraguan
You don't get
tobacco,
that. It takes away. That's what happens. I mean, it's a personal preference. I mean, you get the LFD one, you get, and even Andres. You get that little grassy flavor if you want that. And every once in a while in LFD, I got a little almost kind of sour. I hate to use that word because it's not. It's a good smoke. But with the Illusion, I love that. Their Candela, is
Just
it's absolutely. It's very good.
Interrupt this broadcast for
Another
for those-
ash.
Ash
for
on
those-
yourself a second time?
For those keeping score at home, Paul has dropped his cigar on his brand new white shirt and ashed on it once
That's it.
during the
Is
show.
there a hole?
And almost burnt it.
No,
Okay.
there's no hole yet.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking for.
I have to say that my J. Grotto series, Reserva, is smoking wonderfully right now. I've kind of hit this point where it's really warmed up nicely and produces
last
some great
third of that
flavors.
cigar
Yeah,
just
it's
kicks
starting in the
ass.
finish, and it's really, really good.
I agree. The last third is where the wow factor is.
Yep. It's like a heavyweight fight. You don't remember the beginning of the fight, but at the end, you sure do.
Yeah, I've always liked the flavors, the way the cigar finished. So, let's see.
You're up, Paul.
My Father Federal Cigar's 91st. This is the Connecticut shade.
Connecticut version.
Connecticut version. The flavors were good. However, I had some huge construction problems, and you can see it in the picture. There was a gigantic hole in this cigar.
That is just a shame, man.
I mean, I tried all my little tricks of, once the hole kind of presents itself, you ash it, and I take my draw poker and I kind of tamp it down to kind of close the hole to see if it'll keep smoking. And the hole just persisted through a large portion of the cigar, which is an uncharacteristic problem for this brand. I found My Father cigars, while some of them won't necessarily fit my flavor profile, they've always, the burn and draw on them has always been spot on. And for this to give me this kind of problem, I was disappointed. But
especially after I hyped it out on you, because
you really
the
like
one I
this.
smoked. I tell you what, man, I buy a box of these if I could get them. There's only 50 boxes of 23 made. Same wrapper, I believe, as the Jaime Garcia New England.
Right, same thing.
I'll tell you what, though, this thing, woof, it bordered on an Oasis with me. Fantastic, the one I smoked. Again, if I could get my hands on them, I'd buy some.
Like I said, I could tell there was some great flavors in there, but it wouldn't come together because of the big void.
It's a shame.
So, yeah, maybe we can get more.
Jeremy, if you're listening.
We need more.
Yeah, well,
Hint, hint. All right, on to my list. We were gifted some smokes by Bill Burris of the Cigar Snapshot podcast.
Yes.
And very generous, actually. Did not expect it. Sent him some stickers, and we probably got back $100 worth of smokes, which is very kind of him. One of them was this De Hoya de Rove. Is that how you pronounce that? Forbidden fruit. I believe it was 12 years old, according to his notes.
Oh yes, I haven't smoked mine yet.
You have not smoked yours yet.
It looks very old
yes,
and tasty.
It is. Corona size. Perfect. Great. Very mild. I don't know what age has done to the smoke because I've never had one before. But enjoyable, smooth, balanced, box worthy. I really enjoyed it. I believe he told me that he bought a cab of 50 of these back in 2001-ish.
Yep.
So take it down this weekend, Paul.
I will.
It is Easter weekend.
Maybe that's my Easter smoke.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Ashton VSG Eclipse. I love this smoke. I love the deep, kind of dark, rich flavors that come off this smoke. I have to say the box that I bought is a little young. I smoked one that had a little bit of age on it, and I smoked one from the new box, and I even gave one to a friend, and we kind of seem to both agree it's a little unbalanced and it needs some time to age, but I really can't wait till these all get covered in plume, and they'll be just smoking fantastic.
Excellent.
Good smoke. You like the Eclipse?
yeah, it's not one. It's a good VSG, but not my favorite.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. Which size is that?
This is the Tubo.
Okay.
It's like a
It's probably 6x52.
yeah, it's like a Toro.
I haven't had that one yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It was voted number 10 cigar or 10 or 15, give or take, 2 years ago. So it's a good smoke. It's just not one of my favorite VSGs. It's a good. It's a fiver for me.
There's a lot of sizes in that line.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
line's been around, since 2000, 2001?
2000.
Yeah. And there's definitely sizes that I enjoy more.
I read Trey
than others.
Mystique. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the Robusto.
Robusto is very
Corona
good.
Gorda.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, one that flies under the radar. I'll tell you, you got to try the Torpedo. Oh,
I've had
Really?
Torpedo, yeah.
I like the Wizard too. See, I kind of like the larger ring gauges in that blend.
Yep.
But I have a box of Trey Mystiques too because that's a great smoke.
Absolutely.
What else? Davidoff Colorado Claro Specialty. This one from 2012. So this is a newer box. The ones we've been smoking previously were from 2008. This one had some nice flavors. A tad of that little grassy hints.
that Dominican flavor
Yeah,
popped through.
it's very smooth though. I think it needs a lot more time to live up to the ones from 2008. But I'm very happy with my box purchase. It was a very enjoyable smoke. Just some of the flavors will need to develop before it really gives me that wow factor that those other ones did. But I was very, very happy with it.
I bought a box of the short Perfectos from this release too. The one I just smoked in December, I was a little disappointed in. It's not on my list this month, but I did smoke one this month. And I have to say that it is already starting to smoke better. You're right. Age.
Yeah, age is going to be kind.
The other 8 are going down. There's a box of 10, and I'm going to revisit.
I agree.
Another Bill Barris gift, the Cro-Magnon Anthropology. Did you get a chance to smoke this yet?
I have not. I've wanted to. I've heard really good things about this blend.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe it was the name. I wasn't expecting much, but this blend actually surprised me. It was very good. Poured smoke, draw was perfect. I mean, perfect. I took this down, I believe it was last Saturday night. Great flavors. Never became harsh. I'm going to revisit. I'm going to grab a 5er of these, I think, because I really want to check out some of the other sizes and really revisit the smoke. It surprised me. So check it out, Paul, when you get a chance.
I definitely will. Let's see. Partagas Series P Torpedo. So I'm sorry. This is a Series P number 2. It's a Cuban blend. This one's good. It lacks some flavors that you find in a lot of those other Partagas smokes. I'd say, if you like Partagas, maybe try 1 or 2 of these. It's not that traditional Partagas kind of flavor. It was kind of somewhat muted, but still very enjoyable smoke.
Excellent.
The Viaje Skull and Bones, the Mystery. This is the short little the short little torpedo rather.
And this is the Halloween 2011.
The Halloween 2011
like a belly.
Yeah, like a little box press belly shorty. Fantastic smoke. I wish I had more. I mean, for an after dinner, you want something with a lot of punch to it that has good flavor. This is your smoke. I'd say these are box worthy. I wish I grabbed more of them.
Now, this is the black label?
This is the black label.
Yeah.
I'd say a little pepper. It's got a little pepper to it.
A lot of pepper.
Yeah. A good pepper. I liked it.
I mean, if you don't like strong smokes, that's not one for you.
Yeah.
But if you do, it's certainly you need to visit it.
It's a good strong smoke. It's the Tatawahe M80, kind of like right up there. Like when I look for something,
I wouldn't say as strong as the M80.
Yeah, probably not as strong as the M80,
no.
but I put it in the same
Did you ever
class.
smoke the one that?
It was good, and I'd say it's one of those ones I'd reach for, after dinner, after a big meal,
Right.
and you want something that's short, compact, and packs a punch. So
And a great draw.
Now, I recently smoked the MOAB, which is the most recent, one of the most recent
Right.
releases of the Skull and Bones.
And MOAB for the listeners, Tim, if they're not understanding what that acronym
Mother
means.
of all bombs.
I thought it was a great place to mountain bike.
Yeah.
No, I didn't smoke all the new Skull and Bones. I chose this size because I had heard this was the best out of the 3
Right.
released.
That was smoking.
It did not disappoint. It was definitely powerful. I think it had better flavors than the Halloween release, personally. It's worth a visit. So,
I smoked a La Flor Dominicana Factory Press 2. These were outstanding a couple of years ago. In fact, Stogie Santa allowed me to purchase one that was covered in plume. I mean, covered in plume more than any other cigar I've ever seen in my life. And it had some just very unique flavors. And this one was good, but I think they've lost flavor over time.
No doubt. Yeah.
I mean, if you got them, you should smoke them now, but you should have been smoking them, I think, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one I smoked, I got bored on.
I think they just got aged out.
And it's a big smoke to get
It
bored
is.
on.
It is.
I mean,
there's a lot of tobacco.
It's a 2.5 hour.
It's deceiving because it's that factory press. It's very square press.
Yeah.
But it's probably a 60 ring. If you were to kind of round it out, I would say that'd be a 60 ring almost. It's not a 58,
Good flavors, but again, kind of lack the complexity to keep
should
me
have smoked it 2 years ago.
So, the last one on my list, and let's touch upon this, is, again, the Kahuna 2012. We already touched upon the broadleaf, but let's talk about the Sumatra. I was a little disappointed. Again, I think it needs to be set down for a while, which I'm going to do. I did like the broadleaf better, and I'm looking forward to the summer when they release the Habano. Is that correct, Stogie Santa?
Correct.
And that's the typical wrapper that they've done all the other releases on.
That's right.
Again, I think my favorite to this date, Paul, and I don't know if you agree, is the 2003.
I agree.
By far.
I have it on my list next. Still my favorite size. Kahonu, though, this one had some construction issues, and the tendency is sometimes they do that, but still that Kahuna 2003 with a cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's going and hopefully by next week we should have the FT 114.
I'm looking forward to that. That's
Yeah,
that's
it's
special.
It's
It's a special.
one Fosto. It's going to be released now and then
Okay.
re-released later. That's supposed to be coming our way, and hopefully have that next week.
Excellent.
Very nice. Last one on my list here was a Padron 1926 number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
What?
is that the short one?
That's
No.
the gigantic one.
No, that's
Okay.
like a double Corona almost.
Oh,
Not
one,
quite.
one word.
Oh.
Yum.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yummy. They're just. Oh,
Oh, that's
it's so good.
you can go back and forth between the 1, the 9. I mean, it just.
That 26 line is special.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
It's very special.
It's funny. You start off at the 64 because it's a different line. It's aged longer, a little bit more beef to it. And once you get into the 26, it's hard. The only time I go back to the 64 is the Pyramid and the Principe and Exclusivo. I mean, Exclusivo has a nice little bang to it.
I like everything in the 26 line, natural and Maduro wrappers
Yeah, I
in
agree
the
with you.
26
Yeah,
line. all day
64,
long.
I'm not a big fan of the natural.
Try smoke one in the morning.
You know,
I'm serious. Try
I've
a 60
taken a 64 natural down at lunch, and
Yeah.
I can see where.
Try it earlier in the
See,
day.
I would not even attempt a Maduro
No.
for lunch.
That's why I had I got some specials over here in the corner. I was up in them. I don't know what to do. I got a 2-year-old box of the Pyramid 64s, or a little friend sitting up here. I didn't know what to do. So
What is that?
that's a 3-year-old double Corona Hoya de Monterrey. That's what we have for a birthday smoke tonight.
Forbidden fruit. Excellent.
Oh, I'm just kind of curious. It smells yummy.
Yes. Well, very good. We're going to take a little break here, and we'll come back. And let's talk about how our J Grotto series Reservas are doing. Mine's finishing off nicely.
Yeah, you took that down quick, Paul.
Yes. Well, you know, the way it's cut, the end is kind of opened
Yeah.
up. It looks like a reverse pyramid right now.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm drawing probably more than I should.
I'm just starting my last third, which is the wow factor. So
I agree.
I'm enjoying it, man.
I agree. The finish is fantastic on this smoke. Very much a deeper, earthy flavor.
Right.
Yes.
When it finishes.
It transitions to that much so. Yep.
Yep. So, with that, we'll take a short little break and we'll come back with some very special segments.